Welcome to part 4 of the Infernity Deck. This is the deck profile. Okay, what was going to strike you first is the amount of monsters, which you probably saw when I searched through my deck for cards with the effects of Infernity Archfiend. But now, I'm going to show you why. Well, first we have 3 Infernity Archfiends. This guy is the main card. When you special summon him, you're going to add a card to your hand. The card you're normally going to choose is Infernity Launcher, which is going to special summon 2 Infernity cards from your graveyard. Usually you'll target him again and then use his effect to search for another Infernity card. And then, yes, so basically he is the main card. He is also the main card you're going to synchro summon with for any of your synchros. Then we have Infernity Avenger. He is a level 1 tuner, and the reason he's so good isn't for his level, but his effect. When you have no cards in your hand, which you will always have no cards in your hand when with this deck, you can if your monster you control is destroyed, you special summon him from the graveyard, and then he becomes the level of the monster that was destroyed. Then Infernity Beast. Most people wouldn't play him in an Infernity deck. I do, because quite a few times he has won me the duel as my opponent may have had a set spell or trap card like Mirror Force or something, but then they can't activate it. I'll attack with him and win. 3 Infernity Beetles. This is the key card for Red Nova, and I think that's all I really need to say. Infernity Destroyer. Again, most people wouldn't play this guy as he's a level 6, but I can always get him out. It's not that hard, and yeah. Then Infernity Guardian. A lot of people don't play him. I don't know why they don't play him. I have to say, he is a great Infernity. The amount of times I've had him on the field with no cards in my hand, and him being unstoppable, him protecting my life points until I get a good card, he is just great. Infernity Mirage, get 2 cards out of your graveyard, special summon them, get 2 Infernity. Pretty much Infernity Launcher, just in monster form. Necromancer, to bring back Infernities from your graveyard and synchro summon with them. Stygian Security, to bring out Infernity Beetle. Stygian Street Patrol, this guy is great. You can just by banishing him from your graveyard, you can special summon an Infernity card from your hand. Of course, that links to him. That links to getting out another monster. So if you want to add a monster to your hand with his effect, you can special summon that. So it's a good effect. Summon a monk to have 2 level 4s on the field. And yes, that will mean special summoning Archfiend, so another way to special summon Archfiend. Foolish Burial to get Stygian Street Patrol on the graveyard. But not always Stygian Street Patrol. Sometimes you'll have Necromancer on the field and you'll send Archfiend to the graveyard so you can special summon it. Or a tuner. Launcher, covered that. Inferno Reckless Summon. I didn't draw this card in any of my YouTube videos, but I love playing this card with an Infernity Necromancer, or Infernity Avenger, or when you special summon an Infernity Beetle, just to get out 2 more. It's great. So you can pretty much kill your opponent if you manage to get 3 Necromancers on the field. Level Meister, of course, it's got to do with discarding to get less cards in your hand, and then you can make 2 monsters at that level. So, say you have Infernity Archfiend in your hand, you have Infernity Beetle and Infernity Necromancer on your field. You need to get out a level 8 Synchro, just activate this. MST, well, of course you need to have a way to get rid of spell and trap cards like Skill Drain or something like that. Night Beam, another way to destroy a spell or trap card. Zero Max, to bring out an Infernity monster from your graveyard and sometimes to destroy your opponent's field. A Hero Emerges. I think I covered this in a YouTube video. With this guy you can get out Infernity Destroyer. Or if you play one of the cards in the side deck, then that works as well. Bottomless Trap Hole. I think we know why that's a good card. Call of the Haunted, special summoning Archfiend or Necromancer. Dimensional Prism. Infernity Barrier. This card is really helpful as it negates your opponent's card effects and destroys it. Infernity Force. Not only does it destroy your opponent's monster who attacks, but then you also get an Infernity from your graveyard. Infernity Inferno, the amount of times I've used this card to clear my hand and get the right Infernities in the grave, such a useful card. Then Mirror Force. We know why Mirror Force is good. Phantom Hand, to have 0 cards in your hand quickly, but at the same time to not completely get rid of them. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to discard a card, and also to return a card to the top of the deck is really helpful, as that means that if your opponent has an Xyz monster on the field, it goes to the extra deck, or if your opponent has one monster on the field, it goes to the top of their deck, they'll have to summon it again. Raijeki Break, just discarding to lower the amount of cards in your hand, and to destroy a card on their field. Now the extra deck. We have Ally of Justice Catastor, mainly because we need a level 5, and he was the best level 5 for this deck in my opinion. Omriarm, we needed a level 4, and Omriarm's just the best level 4 synchro. Black Rose Dragon. Yes, I did swap this in for Stardust Spark Dragon to clear your opponent's field if you're really desperate. Chaos King Archfiend, if you need to summon a level 7, then you can always get him out, and his effect comes in handy quite a few times. Crimson Blader to stop your opponent from special summoning. Dark End Dragon to destroy a monster on your opponent's field. And it's better than... although you may say that Jeweled Red Archfiend does that just fine, your opponent will have monsters in defense, and Dark End Dragon will destroy them. Gravity Warrior, we need a level 6 in the deck, and he was my choice. Other people might choose a different level 6 synchro for an Infernity deck. I'll just get it up. But meanwhile, 100 Eyes Dragon. 100 Eyes Dragon is a great synchro for Infernities. You can banish Necromancer from your graveyard, special summon Archfiend, and go for something. Or banish Mirage, and then special summon some other cards. Infernity Doom Dragon. Not only does it survive, as Infernity Force and Infernity Barrier and stuff protects it, but you can special summon it with Necromancer, and it's just a great card. Jeweled Dragon Archfiend destroys all cards your opponent controls that are in attack when it attacks. Mistworm, when you summon Mistworm, you're going to inflict a lot of damage, and your opponent's not going to have any way of protecting themselves, as it's just going to get rid of their whole field. Red Dragon Archfiend. Well, to be honest, the only reason this guy's in here is because of his friend Red Nova, which is an incredible card, and this card is going to help you so much. Star Eater, normally synchro summoned using Mistworm and an Infernity Beetle. Your opponent can't negate it, and your opponent can't play spell or trap cards. Then Void Ogre Dragon, my most used synchro in this deck, because it stops your opponent from using spell and trap cards if you have no cards in your hand, and that's great. Now, what you're going to notice is that I have a side deck, and I haven't put a side deck in any of my other decks before, and basically this deck, I decided to put it in as it's not such a side deck, it's just another way of playing it, with this side deck, I have brought out Khazar, and the way I do that is with Mirage, Avenger, or sometimes I use Levelmeister, and summoning Stardust. Starlight Road helps you with that. Librarian, those kinds of stuff. Then Thought Ruler, just a good card. Black Feather Dragon, if your opponent's inflicting effect damage. Starlight Road to bring out Stardust Dragon, another Mirror Force. Wave Motion, Inferno to empty your hand quite quickly, and for your Infinities to gain 400 attack. DD, Dimension Reincarnation, in case your opponent has a Banishing deck. Plague Spreader Zombie, this card is just great with Infinities. It lowers your hand, and then you can special summon it from your graveyard and synchro summon. Infernity Knight, just a level 3 card, because you might want another level 3 if you're gonna try to bring out 2 level 5s. Then this guy, if your opponent plays a dragon deck, as you should be able to summon 2 dragon type level 8s pretty easily with this deck. And then finally the last card, Mechanical Hound. This card goes so well in this Infernity deck, but the reason I'm not putting it in the main deck is because so many people won't be able to bring it out, and they'll get annoyed as